I swear Democrats are worthless. Just simply worthless. There is no way that you're going to convince me that they're doing good for this country. And especially, you cannot convince me that they're doing right by black people in this country. So let's take a look at this clip from Charlemagne's interview with the VP Kamala Harris, shall we?
Who's the superhero that's going to speak against Joe Manchin? No. I want to know who's the real president of this country. Is it Joe Biden or Joe Manchin?
I'm sorry. I interrupted. I don't think the vice president can hear you. It's Simone. I'm so sorry, Charlemagne. We have to wrap.
She can hear me.
You can hear me? Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me, Madam Vice President?
So I'm sorry. We got to wrap.
Oh.
So I'm sorry to interrupt.
They're acting like they can't hear me. Y'all see that?
I can hear you.
Oh, so who's the
I
real?
can hear you.
So who's the real president of this country? Is it Joe Manchin or Joe Biden, Madam Vice President?
Come on, Charlemagne.
Come
on. It's Joe Biden.
I can't tell sometimes.
No. It's Joe Biden. And don't start talking like a Republican about asking whether or not he's president.
Do you think Joe Manchin is a problem?
It's Joe Biden, and I'm vice president, and my name is Kamala Harris. And the reality is, because we are in office, we do the things like the child tax credit, which is going to reduce black child poverty by 50%, on track to do that. We do things that are about saying that our Department of Justice is going to do these investigations and require that we end chokeholds and have body cameras. It is the work of saying we're going to get lead out of pipes and paint because our babies are suffering because of that. It is the work of saying people who ride public transit deserve the same kind of dignity that anybody else does. So let's improve that system. It is the work of saying that we have got to bring down prescription drug costs because folks who have diabetes should not be dying because they don't have enough money in their pocket. It's about saying black maternal mortality is a real issue that must be treated by everybody, including the White House, as a serious issue. I hear the frustration, but let's not deny the impact that we've had and agree also that there is a whole lot more work to be done. And it is not easy to do. But we will not give up, and I will not give up.
I just want you to know that Madam Vice President, that Kamala Harris, that's the one I like. That's the one that was putting the pressure on people in Senate hearings. That's the one I'd like to see more often out here in these streets. Thank you for joining us, Madam Vice President.
I'm glad to be with you.
Absolutely.
Glad to be with you.
Appreciate you. Give Maya my love too, and Doug.
All right, you take care. Give your family my love. I want to see those babies.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Boy, she sure was shucking and jiving for her daddy Joe Biden, now wasn't she? As you all saw. So she says, since they've been in office, that they have done the child tax credit that's supposed to lift black children out of poverty by 50%. How exactly, Kamala Harris? Why is it that black folks are still living in the ghettos? Why are black parents continue to be separated by their black children? Some that you helped contribute when you was, Senator of California, locking up black people for non-lethal minor offenses, right, Kamala? And why is it that we still have a high rate of single parentinghood in the black community, Kamala Harris? And if you want to lift black children out of poverty, okay, good. Where are they going to go to, though? How are you going to fix poverty in this country? Number one, how come nobody is cutting checks for black folks in this country? Not minority, not people of color, not diversity, not disproportionately, not low income. I'm saying black people. Okay? If nobody ain't cutting checks, aka reparations, for black people, the descendant of slaves in this country, and let me make sure to say the descendants of African slaves, okay? The descendants of African slaves, Kamala. If y'all ain't cutting checks for the descendants of African slaves, then them child tax credits doesn't mean a damn thing. That's number one. So then you talk about the police reform bill, okay? So whatever happened to the George Floyd Policing Bill Act, Kamala? Whatever happened to the anti-lynching law? And especially, whatever happened to HR 40? How come those things haven't been brought up? If you want to talk about doing investigations in the Department of Justice, as well as law enforcement, then where was the investigations when black men were being lynched from trees with their hands tied behind their backs? And then you got the police department saying that it was a suicide, which it wasn't, because how can you hang yourself from a tree with your hands tied behind your back? So that in of itself is already BS, because if that's the case, also Kyle Rittenhouse, he would have got convicted and sent behind bars. But no, that didn't happen. That judge was acting as an illegal defense attorney for Kyle Rittenhouse, and they let him go. And your boy Joe Biden said that he agrees. He supports the jury of their verdict and that we have to abide by them. And here you go again saying that we're doing everything we can to make sure that the Department of Justice is more equitable. Are you really, Kamala? Are you? You're singing the same old tune, but yet, what are you going to do about it? Yes, I do agree that black children need to be lifted out of poverty, and not by 50%, Kamala. Okay? Not by 50%. Let's try 80% at the minimum. At least 80%. Okay? Let's clean up the ghettos. Let's, pay back what is owed to us, Kamala. Furthermore, when you say our babies, look, Kamala, they are not your babies, all right? Remember? You represent the Native Americans. That's who you represent. Your Indian heritage. Remember? You don't represent us. You never did. And you never will. Coming from someone who says, oh, I'm not going to do anything that just benefits black people. No. So don't be sitting up in there, acting like you pro-black when you have also been the problem that has caused black people to suffer as well. Based off of your history, Kamala, can we not forget that? And if you're so worried about the Republicans, then why not, I don't know, get rid of the filibuster? Does Joe Biden even want to get rid of the filibuster? No, he doesn't. Which is why the Republicans are going to continue to walk all over you. I mean, Joe Biden is the highest ranking authority in this country above everyone. And yet he still can't get the things that he wants done with his own quote unquote Build Back Better plan. I mean, what the hell kind of president is that? Yes, I do agree on, Charlemagne with this one. who is really the president, Kamala? Is it Joe Manchin? Is it Joe Biden? Who is it? If the Republicans are not going to agree on anything that you guys are doing, well then forget them. Why do you need the Republicans' approval to have to get stuff done? You don't need them. Much like they don't need you, okay? So, you talk about these issues, but the question still remains, Kamala, is what are you going to do about it? What is Joe Biden and the Biden administration, as well as his fellow Democrats, what are y'all going to do about it? And how are y'all going to deal with Joe Manchin, since he was the one that killed your precious Build Back Better plan, right? What is his punishment going to be? That's what I want to know. Not that I really care anyway, but I'm still curious to know. Because talk is cheap. It's time to start doing. Quit the talking and actually get something done. And damn it, start cutting checks for black people if you want to help your chances in winning in your next presidential election, Kamala. It's real easy. Just start cutting checks for the descendant of African slaves, black people. Y'all have been doing it with the Asians, as well as the hate crime bill. Y'all have been doing it for the Afghans, the illegal immigrants, the LGBT, the Native Americans. And all black people get, and everybody got it too, but black folks, all they get is $1,200 stimulus checks, right? $1,200? Really? $1,200 stimulus checks? And you silly blackcrats out there are satisfied with that? While other groups of people is making profits off of your votes? You're satisfied with that? Okay. Well, I really hope you're satisfied, with this new administration, from where you guys are at right now, in the ghettos, killing each other, fighting each other, arguing who's prettier than who, just that Pookie and Ray Ray wild hyena hood rat mentality that y'all are going through right now. Bullying black people into voting for this weak president by the name of Joe Biden. Yeah, I hope that sweet victory was worth it. I really hope it was worth, strutting your booty to the polls, buck dancing in the street for white master Joe Biden. So be proud of that for as long as you can, because 2022 is going to be an interesting year. It's going to be a real interesting year for the Democrats, and as well as you blackcrats out there. So stay tuned for that. And as for you, Charlemagne, while I do applaud you that you asked the hardball questions at Kamala Harris on Joe Biden's position as president, but listen, man, how about you leave the hard questions to the ones who have no fear, to the ones who will not cower down like you just did in that interview? Because one thing's for sure, Charlemagne the dog. Yeah, that's your new name from now on. Charlemagne the dog. Because, number one, you're not a god. You don't even carry yourself like a god. You don't talk like one, and you sure don't move like one. Considering how you keep on referencing Kamala Harris as Madam. Madam Harris, huh? So, Charlemagne, I'll give you credit where credit is due, but you are not in a position to be asking those type of questions, my dear boy. Okay? So how about you sit down and let the real foundational Black Americans ask the questions. So anyway, that's it for this video. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. And as always, like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you all next time. Peace.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't Black.